Have you ever wondered what true courage looks like? I'm not talking about movie heroics, but real, gritty, unwavering faith when everything is on the line. Today, we're diving into one of the most intense stories ever told, a tale of three men who stared death in the face and didn't even blink. This is the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and their fiery trial. Our story begins in ancient Babylon, the superpower of its day, ruled by the mighty king Nebuchadnezzar. He was a man who was used to getting his way. Imagine the scene. This powerful king builds a colossal golden statue, towering 90 feet high. He then issues a decree to everyone in his kingdom, the officials, governors, and people from every nation. The command was simple. When you hear the sound of the music, you must bow down and worship this golden image, and the penalty for disobedience. It was terrifying. Anyone who refused would be immediately thrown into a blazing, fiery furnace. Now, for most people, this was a no, bow down, stay alive. Simple, right? But for three young Hebrew men, officials in the king's court, it wasn't simple at all. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were men of principle, and their first and only loyalty was to their God, the God of Israel, who had commanded them, "You shall have no other gods before me." So the music plays, horns, harps, lyres, the whole orchestra. And just as commanded, the massive crowd falls to their knees. But amidst this sea of bowing heads, three figures remain standing, tall, defiant, and resolute. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They refused to bow. Their choice wasn't made out of arrogance or a desire for rebellion. It was a quiet, firm stand based on a conviction that was deeper than their fear of death. Of course, someone noticed. It didn't take long for some of the king's advisors, likely jealous of these Hebrew men's positions, to run to Nebuchadnezzar. They tattled, pointing out the disobedience of the three. "O king," they said, "there are certain Jews you appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. They neither serve your gods nor worship the golden image you have set up." King Nebuchadnezzar was furious. He went from 0 to 100 in a second. How dare they? In a fit of rage, he summoned them. Picture the tension in that throne room. The king, with all his power and fury, facing these three men. He gives them one more chance. Maybe they didn't understand the order. He lays it out again. When the music plays, you bow. If you don't, into the furnace you go. Then he adds a chilling, arrogant question. Then what God will be able to rescue you from my hand? This is the moment of truth. The world is watching. The king is waiting. What would you do? Their answer is one of the most powerful declarations of faith in history. They looked the most powerful man on earth right in the eye and said, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand." Think about that. The sheer confidence, the absolute trust. They knew God ** could * save them. But then they take it a step further. They add a line that reveals the true depth of their faith. But even if he does not, we want you to know, Your Majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up. Wow, let that sink in. But even if he does not, their obedience wasn't conditional. It wasn't a transaction where they'd be faithful only if God promised to rescue them. Their faith was in God's character, not just his power to intervene. They were saying, our God is worthy of our worship, whether we live or die. Our commitment to him is not based on our circumstances. This is rugged, unshakable faith. It's a faith that says, I'll do the right thing no matter the outcome, because God is good. This answer sent Nebuchadnezzar over the edge, his face contorted with rage. He ordered his men to heat the furnace 7 times hotter than usual. It was so intensely hot that the flames killed the soldiers who were tasked with throwing the 3 men in. Think about that for a second. The very heat meant to execute them was so powerful, it killed their executioners on contact. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fully clothed and bound, were thrown into the heart of the inferno. From the king's perspective, this should have been the end. A gruesome but swift execution. Case closed. He peers into the furnace, expecting to see nothing but ash. But what he sees makes his jaw drop. He leaps to his feet in amazement. He turns to his advisors and asks, weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire? They reply, certainly, Your Majesty. The king then exclaims, look, I see 4 men walking round in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods. 4 men walking round unharmed in a furnace heated 7 times hotter than normal. This was impossible, miraculous. The ropes that bound them were burned away, but the fire hadn't touched their bodies. Not a hair on their heads was singed, their robes weren't scorched, and they didn't even smell like smoke. And who was the 4th man? For centuries, scholars and believers have seen this as a pre-incarnate appearance of Jesus Christ himself. God didn't just send an angel. He showed up personally. He walked with them in the fire. He didn't prevent them from going into the trial, but he joined them right in the middle of it. This is such a powerful picture of God's presence with us in our own fiery furnaces. He doesn't always pluck us out of trouble, but he always promises to walk through it with us. Nebuchadnezzar, completely humbled and astounded, approached the opening of the furnace and shouted, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out, come here, and they walked out. The king, his officials, and everyone gathered around them, staring in disbelief. They were living, breathing miracles. This event completely transformed Nebuchadnezzar, the arrogant king who had asked, "What God can deliver you from my hand?" now made a new decree. He declared, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants." They trusted in him and defied the king's command and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God. He even decreed that anyone who spoke against their God would be severely punished, for no other God can save in this way. Because of their rugged faith, an entire empire heard about the power of the one true God. Their personal stand had a global impact. They were then promoted to even higher positions in the kingdom. So, what can we take away from this incredible story? First, true faith is tested. It's easy to say we believe when things are going well, but our character is forged in the fire. The trials we face reveal what we're truly made of and what we truly believe. Second, our obedience should not be based on the outcome. Like these three heroes, our stance should be, even if he doesn't deliver me the way I want, I will still trust him. I will still honor him. That's a faith that can withstand any storm. And finally, and most importantly, God is with you in the fire. When you feel like you're in an impossible situation, surrounded by flames of pressure, anxiety, or despair, remember this story. You are not alone. The fourth man is in the fire with you. He is present, he is powerful, and he is faithful. This ancient story isn't just a historical account. It's a timeless lesson in courage, integrity, and the incredible faithfulness of God. It challenges us to ask ourselves, what are our golden statues? What are the things the world tells us to bow down to? Popularity, success, comfort, fear? And will we have the courage to stand, knowing that the God we serve is able and that He is with us, even in the fire? Thanks for watching today. I hope this story encouraged you as much as it always encourages me. If it did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content that dives deep into stories of faith and courage. Let me know in the comments what part of this story stood out to you the most. Until next time, stay strong and keep the faith.